We are
Ready?
now live.
Hello, partner. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. I got a cat.
I was going to say, I've seen this cat crawling around in the background. Now, bearing in mind that I've caught 5 mice in my loft in the last week, humanely, and they've all been released into my greenhouse. Perhaps I could borrow a cat for a couple of nights.
He is
What?
a crazy cat.
Tell the audience about the cat first of all. I'm sure they're all dying to know.
Well, I really wanted a cat because I wanted some company at home because my husband's a key worker and he's working all the time. And I woke up one Saturday morning and about 5 of my clients were trying to get hold of me because they'd all contact each other trying to get hold of me about this cat that was going to be put in a home, in a shelter. And because his owner couldn't have him anymore because she was moving. And I was like, I'll have him. And he came to live with us and now he's part of the family.
I've seen him in the background. What's the cat's name?
Well, he's called Dennis, which we didn't pick, but my husband wants to change it to Denzel because he loves Denzel Washington.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it was still, yeah, Dennis, it was too bad. All right, so you're now a cat owner. Next thing's a dog, and the next thing after that, don't you?
Oh, calm down, calm down.
And I've told you, I want plenty of one about that as well. You know what I mean? Right. Let's get down to business.
Yeah.
Because you waffle too much. So the first thing, as ever, is to thank all of our participants in the group, as we were just chatting, as we normally do before we film these, to say thank you very much for all the posts, because those posts really help to support each other, and we've had some really nice comments about people enjoying being part of this group, which was always what we set up for. Every week before me and you start filming, we have a discussion about what do they need from us? What's the best thing we can do for the people in this group? And you and I both agreed that of kind of frustration, discouragement, a bit of apathy with the fact that there's a lot of unknowns still, that people still don't know when the world will be going back to normal and when they can start to do all the things they enjoy, like going back to the gym. One of the questions we've had a little bit is, do we know anything yet about reopening? So we just thought it'd be sensible just to tell people, no, we don't. We have hunches. We have hunches that, maybe mid-March or something. But I think I've been wrong the whole way through this pandemic about, unfortunately, we have a government who, in my opinion, without getting too political, are clueless, reactionary, and pay more attention to social media than they do science. But that's just me. That's just me. I could be completely wrong. So we don't really know anything at the moment. But we were just very conscious that, again, people might start to feel a little bit discouraged because we don't kind of know when it's going to end. So for the exercise today, the first thing that we wanted people to do was to almost future pace a little bit. And me and you had a discussion and said, look, what have I been doing? Because of course, on the 1st of April, it'll be 22 years that Winners 2000 has been running, worked really hard. And as a business owner, it is a little bit frustrating to see your business close down. What are the things that I do to sort of, stay motivated, to stay positive? One of the things I do is, as you know, set goals and set very simple future pace goals. So for example, 3 of the things that I have said to myself is, look, by the 1st of April, I think the world might be back to relative normality and I might be able to start doing some things again. What 3 things am I really going to focus on that I'm looking forward to, that make me feel good, that give me something to look forward to? So the first one is every Wednesday, I'm going to take my boys swimming. That might sound like something really trivial and really simple, but anyone that's had a child in the last year or so knows that the children haven't really had any activities or any interaction. They haven't really been able to play with other children because everything's been shut down. So I think to myself, I can't wait for Wednesday swimming. I can't wait for that. I'm really looking forward to that. My daughter was a great swimmer, and I'm sure my son will be much better than me as well. So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Say that again?
Has he ever been swimming yet?
He went to a really nice place in Seal Hain. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it's like a rehab pool, so it's really warm. In there, and he went once and he absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then of course we get these ridiculous rules and we can't go again. So swimming on a Wednesday is the first thing that I'm really looking forward to. The second thing is I'm determined to have some sort of family holiday, even if that's driving to Cornwall for 3 days, 2 days. We haven't been away since April 19, and I thought to myself, look, God, we just need a break. So I put that in my head, whatever it is, even if it's driving to Cornwall. And then the third thing, which is more business related, is For a long time, we've been talking about having an NHS and members party over in Newton Abbot. Well, hopefully by May, June, when the weather's really nice, we can sort of set up that barbecue and live music, and we can invite all the NHS staff and we invite all our members to just get everyone together over in Newton Abbot. So we've been trying to do that for quite a while, but just not been able to. But I've sort of really doubled down on my resolve with that and thought, look, there's so many members that we haven't seen for a long time. It should be a great opportunity to invite people along, have something to eat, listen to some good tunes, and just sort of get back to the real world a little bit. So they were the three really simple things that I've put in my mind as like, just keep going. Okay, this is coming to an end. There will be a time when things are completely back to normal, just like the flight to Australia. And they were the three that I chose. So exercise for this week is I want people in the group to post 3 things, future paced. Just imagine it's 1st of April, okay? Think like that'll be gone in no time, okay? On the 1st of April, these are the 3 goals I've got. These are things I'm going to do. The moment you're able to take action towards them. For example, the moment that I know I'm allowed to drive to Cornwall, make a booking and get it done. Looking for your cat.
He's just running around.
Probably got a mouse. It's probably got one of my mice.
Hope not.
That's this week's exercise. Should we talk to members a little bit about the charity event idea and thank them for that?
Yeah, definitely. We had a lot of ideas about what charities that we want to raise money for, and we put a poll in the group last week asking which one out of the 2 that we had picked we were going to do. We will obviously get round to all our charities because, as you know, Winners 2000 is big on raising money for lots of local charities and causes, but the members chose the British Heart Foundation, which is a great cause. So
yeah, great cause.
Yeah, we are over the next couple of days going to put our heads together to figure out how we can set up a virtual charity event within the group to give people, again, another goal, another thing to aim for, and a little bit of purpose behind why they want to do it and to raise money for such a good charity.
Yeah, so we talked initially about saying, look, we've got almost 300 people in the group. So if we could get 2/3 to take part, let's say that's 200. And if they could all raise £25 by getting 25 of their friends to donate £1, okay, because obviously some people have struggled financially through COVID, etc., lockdown, then that would give us about £2,500, which is a substantial figure, and that would be a great reward. And as you say, it gives a real purpose. Leanne and I were chatting about what the event should be, and we just had a little bit of disagreement, as we do sometimes, with regards to sort of how tough it should be, because we want to make it inclusive for absolutely everyone. So that's why there's been a slight delay. We hope to make an announcement by Monday, so that we can kind of get started next week. For example, one of Leanne's ideas was 100 squats a day for 10 days. And I said, we're already doing that. Why don't we do 1,000 squats a day for 10 days, which might be a little bit over the top. So we've just got a little bit of work to do on sort of coming together on that. But that's the type of thing we're looking at. And there'll be a Just Giving page where hopefully you can speak to your social media friends and you can get 25 people to each make a £1 donation. So thanks very much. And as you say, the British Heart Foundation is a superb charity. And as we said, all of the other ideas and the other charities, we certainly don't want to forget about those. You and I were talking a few days ago about the member event program. We've put that in draft form again, working on the idea that will probably be open in about April time, something like that. So we've already set up that boot campathon idea again. The bike ride that we did a couple of years ago, it was absolutely brilliant. Where the whole family took part to different routes. We've also got an idea for like the serious fitness event, which we want to do in teams, and then we're going to have like a members Olympic lifting event. So they're already in place for maybe April, May, June, July, August, that sort of thing. Dog show, obviously, as soon as we're able to do it, probably it can be in July and August, something like that. That's just to update members on all the events. You can run the cat show if you want. You can run the cat show. Now, Pam loves cats, so Pam will be brilliant with this.
Me
Pam
and
is very,
Pam
very good at
the
that.
Cat Olympics at Winners 2000.
Cat Olympics. Right. Do you want to let people know about the songs and the playlists? This is your idea.
Yes. So we are wanting everybody's opinion, and we want everyone to share their favorite playlists, their favorite songs that they like to work out to. For me, especially music is such an important part of working out. It motivates me, it makes me feel happy. So we want everyone to share their favorite top 10 songs. And not only is that going to inspire everyone in the group to listen to some tunes while they train, but we are also going to add them to our playlists, ready to crank up the volume when we open and play everybody's favorite songs.
So hopefully when you're in the gym next, you'll hear the song that you listed in this group playing, and it'll make you bench harder, run faster, do more chins, whatever. So off the top of your head then, let's go, let's see if we can come up with our top 5 each. So what would some of your go-to training shoes be? Number 1, best Beyonce.
Yeah.
Oh, predictable. You are
Beyonce's
predictable, you are.
Beyonce's number 1. And then
Okay, what about, hang on, I get one.
all right, go.
Coolio, Gangster's Paradise. That's my shadow
that
boxing
is a
song.
tune. That is a tune.
Yeah, I bet Evans likes that. Yeah, go on then. Go again.
Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, I'm going to shock you with this one. Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. Do you know that one? You must have done something to that, surely. Let me tell you a little story about that. When I was a very young man, I used to go to the Hideaway. There's anybody that remembers the Hideaway in this group? The Hideaway was a bit of a dive, shall we say, a bit of a dive. You get in when you were 15, so it was fine. And towards the end of the night, they used to play this I Will Survive, and it just went on for hours. So I Will Survive always reminds me of the Hideaway. So that's one of my training songs. Go on, yours.
Britney Spears, Toxic, tune.
Toxic. Okay. Metallica, Sandman.
Okay, I'm going to shock you with this one, but the Stone Roses.
Stone Roses? You weren't born when the Stone Roses were out.
No, but my husband was.
All right then. So along that theme, then Beatles, My Life.
Oh, crikey.
Yeah, that's a good track.
One of my all-time favourites, I'm a Dreamer.
Who's that? I don't know. Who sings I'm a Dreamer?
I can't think what they're called, but it was a massive 90s dance track. You've heard it.
I think I know. Yeah. I was probably in Val Bonds when that was on, I would have thought. Okay, my last one would be that Roy Jones Jr. Do you know that song, the boxing song?
No, I think you'll have to give us a little sample of it.
Thanks singing on the Zoom. I'll post a picture. But Roy Jones Jr., I think that's my ultimate number 1. That's another one of my shadow boxing songs. So there's some of our great suggestions, but the idea behind it, of course, is that we do appreciate that music can play quite a strong part in sort of evoking emotion. And often people will say to us in the gym that, oh, that music got me through an extra 2 or 3K on the treadmill, or it got me a PB squat. So if we want people to try and feel a bit better, if that's the purpose of the group, the idea behind the exercise is you might now listen to Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, and it might inspire you as you do your 500 squats for our charity event. So that's the idea behind the songs.
Yes. Get posting your playlist, please.
Right, so the only other thing that we talked about was last week we mentioned some Bible verses, and I said, look, maybe there are people in our group who have a faith, and we talked and said, look, we want to be a little bit careful because this can end up being a bit contentious, and the last thing we want in this group is for anything to be contentious or negative. There are people, of course, who don't, and that's absolutely fine. But I actually have on my phone a couple of pictures that I'm going to send to you to post up, which are kind of Bible verses. And I would encourage anyone that has, say, a strong faith and has a favorite verse to maybe post it in the group along with what the verse means to them. So there are some very, very famous ones been made famous, like people in the UFC with Roy Jones has like Philippians 4:13 tattooed across his, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I think the power behind the verses is how you interpret them, and that's completely individual. So it's not a case of anyone ever telling you what to think or telling you what to feel or tell you what faith you should have. But people that have worked with me, athletes, know that often I will send them verses like Jeremiah 29:11 for one of the plans I have for you, things like this, because I think that they might be able to use those verses in such a way that it can help them overcome whatever it is they might be struggling with. I'm working with one person at the moment who I hope that at the end of the journey will come and do a podcast with me and you, because I think this person's journey is going to be an incredibly inspirational story of overcoming. This isn't the person I'm working with doesn't really have a strong faith or anything like that, but I've shared some Bible verses with them and said, look, I think you should interpret it this way, and it's just turned out to be useful. Just maybe it's helped them get over a couple of things, push them forward. So that's why I thought it might be of use just to post those up in the group. I'm going to post 2 or 3, but please, we would definitely not like to offend anyone. And if people aren't interested in that, just ignore it. Just completely ignore it. Cool.
Cool.
Anything else you want to go on?
Just, I know there's been a few posts from people that are struggling at the moment. Maybe homeschooling has been doing their head in and they're just feeling frustrated with this whole lockdown situation. And I just want to say there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Even if right now in this moment you don't feel like there is. We are planning so many things for when the gym opens, and it will open, and we've got your back, and just hang in there because the end is coming. And when we are allowed back, it's going to be bigger and better than it's ever been. So focus on that finish line, and can't wait till we can open.
Yeah, I think that simple message is really important. And I was thinking about this before we spoke today about, I think the uncertainty is a bigger factor than maybe people will even realize themselves. What I mean by that is that I think there's so much anxiety because no one really knows what's happened. You've been lied to and misled by the government so many times, and they leak things to the press and you're never sure. So I think it's really easy to become really despondent, and like you say, to just think, when's it never going to end? Then that becomes your internal language, then that makes you more depressed. It reminded me of the Florence Chadwick story, which is on some Stephen Covey audio. I told this story at the Coombe Pafford Leavers speech when I gave a speech there a couple of times, which was about the swimmer that was trying to swim across the ocean and quit. And when she got into the boat and the fog lifted and she was less than half a mile away from the shore, and I thought to myself, if people just had a date in mind now, if they knew a date, let's say it was 32 days away, and they could count back and say, okay, only 31 to go, I can do this. I think that would make it a lot easier on people. And that's why one of the things that I've been doing with myself is kind of always saying, well, this is the date. And then if it changes, I say, well, here's a new one. Okay, work to that date. That works for me. Okay, it gets frustrating when the date is extended. But I do think there is something in that unknown that maybe makes people feel a bit worse. In my head, I've been saying to myself, 15th of March, I'll be back to work by 15th of March. That's the love. I'll be back to work full steam ahead. Nothing will get in my way. If it gets extended another couple of weeks, well, I'll just add 14 onto my total and just keep going. But I do think that's relevant when it comes to despondency.
Yeah, and I think another thing that's hard, or that I've found hard, is when you're feeling this certain way and you can't see anyone, you then obviously start to project those feelings on yourself, and then you start, like you say, having a negative internal dialogue. And that's what this group is for and why we created it. And that's why I'm really pleased that if you are struggling, people are communicating in the group. And what I love is, before I've even had a chance to read that comment and to respond to it myself, I see all the other members in the group coming together to say to someone, it's going to be okay, we've got your back, we're all in this together. And that is a really positive thing, powerful thing.
Yeah, and I think the word that springs to mind for me, and again, it's very simple, is encouragement. So again, I was thinking about this prior to our speaking today, and having had some conversations with, say, some athletes that I've worked with over the last few years, just via text and WhatsApp. And I think to myself, like, what's the best thing I ever do for them, really? Okay, so there's the program, the nutrition, all that shit. I think I encourage them. You could just encourage them. I think our role as coaches, mentors, whatever, is to just encourage people. And when they come up against the brick wall sometimes, well, maybe they want tough love, maybe they want compassion. But I think largely what we're trying to do is to encourage them to keep going. And I think what you're saying is that maybe the best thing that this group could do for each other, even though they might never have met each other, might not even know each other, is encourage each other and say, listen, come on, just do today. Just write your goals, write your gratitude, do your morning routine, do your exercise, list 3 songs that you like or that you don't like, get a Bible verse up that means something to you, just do it and get through the day. And maybe encouragement is the best thing that this group is doing for each other. But I think people should be really proud. I know you mentioned some names at the start today of some people that are like full on really being like mega supportive, and I think that's amazing. They don't know the difference it's making, probably pretty significant to a few people, so fair play to them all.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So keep it up, guys, and don't forget to post your playlists.
Right, so you're more awake today because I actually let's tell people this is 1 o'clock on a Wednesday we're filming this, yeah?
Yeah, I've had time to get up, eat, do my hair,
because last week you had such a cob on You had such a hissy fit about getting out of bed that I thought, oh my God, I'm not doing this again. I'm not carrying her
like
again.
this at 7 in the morning.
7 o'clock, I've normally just released another mouse into my greenhouse. Do you know what I mean? Middle of my day. Anyway, what's on today? What are you doing?
I am going to learn 2 new Zumba routines for my online Zumba class tomorrow.
What's the weather like down there? Pissing it down here.
Horrible, yeah, it's tipping down.
Yeah.
Gross.
We're just off for a wet zip wire session.
Oh, you're taking the boy to the park.
Taking the boy to the park. Yeah, taking the boy to the park. I think he might maybe just be getting a little bit bored of the same park every day, but like I say, we're pretty limited to it as to where we can go at the minute. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to in the future. For his birthday back in October, we took him to Pennywell Farm. You ever been there? All the little horses and stuff. And he loves animals. He absolutely loves animals. So I keep thinking to myself, like, I can't wait to get my boy back to Pennywell Farm and to get him in with all the animals and stuff. So that's one of the things I use to sort of keep me really motivated and keep me sort of real positive, is that, you know, I can't wait. Before you know it, it'll be sunny. We'll all be moaning about how it's too hot, sweating, walking around Pennywell Farm, trying not to buy all the pasties that they sell there.
Take him to that Rare Breeds farm as well. That's really
Still
good.
open, is it?
I don't know if it's open at the minute, but
Right. Yeah. Those. I mean, they're prime examples of the sort of things that I do very genuinely, which is why I very rarely get down about nothing, because I'm always able to sort of, they call it a reframe. It's very simple. I just think, okay, well, can't get to work. Business has been closed down by this lunatic prime minister, but at least I can look forward to this stuff that I'm doing. Right, dude, you're waffling.
cool. Oh yeah,
Right. I'm glad you're wide awake today. Anyway,
your bedtime now, isn't it?
I'm getting close. I'm just starting to come down a cliff, I think, talking to you.
Oh, thanks.
Right, all right, nice to see you, all right?
Andrew, bye.